Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Thomas and today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 things I think you need to know in order to be successful in getting into nursing school. I'm about to be a senior, so that means I have one more year of nursing school, so I'll definitely be making future videos on what nursing school is like, different tips and tricks while you're in nursing school, but today I'm going to talk about what it's like getting into nursing school and the things I think it's important for you to know in order for you to be successful in getting into the program. Alright, so I wrote these tips down on a piece of paper just so I can, just remember them. But I'm going to start off with number 1. And it says mindset / stay positive / pray. So all of these things kind of go hand in hand. You definitely want to be positive when you are just studying, when you're talking with friends. Basically when you do anything during your first 2 years, especially just because you're going to be under a lot of stress. You're going to be in a very competitive environment for others who are trying to get into the nursing program, so negativity can really bring you down. So you just want to avoid as much negativity as possible. If you're hanging around people who are downing themselves or even talking bad about you, you definitely want to make sure you distance yourself away from those people, just because that stuff will rub off on you and it can result in poor performance if you do take that stuff in. So you want to make sure that you're hanging around the right friends. You want to make sure that you're saying that you can do this and it's been done many times before. You just want to make sure that you are really believing that you can do it. And I like to pray before every test, every quiz. If I have to turn in an assignment, I pray right before I hit that submit button. So if you're not religious, I'm not trying to force religion down your throat or anything like that. But even a meditation or something like that definitely helps. Just taking time to reflect your thoughts and just kind of talk about what you want to see in life and what you want to see next. So definitely keep that in mind when doing that. Mindset matters. My second tip is going to be moderation is key. So moderation is key, meaning that everything has to be done in moderation. So you can go out and party too much as well as you can study too much. These things kind of have to have a balance. You can watch too much Netflix, or you can sleep too much, or you can do anything too much. So you want to make sure that you are balancing your life and really using those time management skills in order to see what has priority over the other. So just making sure that you do everything in moderation. Now I was talking about how you can study too much, and people say if you study all the time you'll do really, really well. Yes, that's true, but if you study too long, you don't take breaks, and you don't take time to take care of yourself, that's really going to result in you crashing later on. You might do well on that first test, but by the time it's time to take that second test, you're going to be really, really tired. You're going to be really rough, and it's just not a pretty picture.
It's not a pretty picture. I don't like doing it.
I've done it before. It does not result in a good thing. So just making sure that you're doing everything in moderation, and like I mentioned before, as far as like going out and having fun, whether it's with your friends, going to a party, or whether it's going to see a movie, just make sure that you are taking that time to just kind of recharge your batteries, because this process is ongoing. It seems like you want to make sure that you have enough energy in order to move forward. So like I said, tip number 2 is moderation is key. My third tip will be sacrifices will need to be made. So that kind of goes with number 2 as far as everything is important in moderation. My sacrifices will need to be made when it comes to having a time where, let's say that there's a test that you have on Friday morning, and there's a party on Thursday night, and your friend's like, hey, let's go to this party, let's have a lot of fun. Well, you may have to say, no, not tonight because I have a test in the morning, but maybe the following night go ahead and have some fun with your friends, and just knowing when to say no. Even when it comes to talking with your family, it's very important to talk with your family and stuff like that, but if you know that you have a big week of tests, you may have to say, hey mom and dad, I have a lot of tests today, or not a lot of tests today, but a lot of tests this week, and I'm going to have to sacrifice some time when it comes to talking to you in order to have a little bit more time studying. So just knowing when to say, alright, I have to give up a little bit of this in order to get some of that, or I have to give up a little bit of that in order to get some of this, is just really important. And I would like to say never sacrifice your sleep, but there is going to be some times where you do have to sacrifice a little bit of sleep, but never sacrifice too much sleep, because pulling the all-nighter is not very beneficial. I've seen people do it before and they were successful that one time, but the second time they did it, it did not work very well. So just knowing where your sacrifices need to be and how much sacrifice you have to make is also key. So my fourth tip is going to be get help before you need it. So getting help before you need it can look like going to see a professor, going to get tutoring, just talking with friends who are taking the same class, and just kind of, you know, expressing your feelings on the class and things that you're having trouble with is just very important to do that. So make sure that you're talking with other people, especially your professor, saying the fact that your professor is the one making the test. So if the professor is making the test and you have a question about the test, who better to go to? The professor, obviously. Now, it can be intimidating at times, but just kind of get over that and, you know, go have a conversation with them, which will make it easier to talk to them the next time. So just make sure that you're going to get that help from your professor, along with, like I said, a tutor. Now, a lot of people associate going to a tutor with them not being smart enough. And that's completely the opposite. I found that a lot of the smartest people in the class were those who were showing up to tutoring and just furthering their education, furthering their understanding. And it was nice to have those people there as well, because they did have a good understanding of one thing, and you may have a good understanding of another thing, but now you can exchange those ideas. And with that, I'm talking about group tutoring sessions. And of course, there's personalized tutoring and stuff like that. So just get familiar with the programs at your school and just try to, you know, work with that. And for my fifth and very last tip is, don't let the competition consume you. So like I say, getting into nursing school is very competitive, and, you know, as much as you want everybody to work together, they also have to think about themselves, and you do as well. But don't, you know, get to the point where you're not talking to other people and you're giving other people false information, because I've seen that. I've seen people say, hey, I don't know when that homework is due. When is it due? And they might tell them it's due Wednesday when it's really due Tuesday. And you know, that seems extremely, you know, horrible, but it really does happen. So you just have to be aware of that for yourself, and also, you know, don't be that person to others. Don't be the person who is giving out these false informations or starting drama or anything like that. Now, that sounds a bit extreme, but it does happen. I've seen it happen. So don't get consumed by that competition. Just help one another. And I know that you're competing with them, but you can't make it without them. So just kind of remember that, and as you move forward into nursing school, you'll realize that these people that you were in competition with, you now need to hold their hands to get to the finish line, because nursing school itself is very, very difficult. Actually, it's not very, very difficult. I don't want to say it's very difficult. I want to say it's very time consuming, and it's a lot. So having somebody shoulder to lead on, and just, you know, really having a friend to be there is very important. So if you taint that relationship, you know, before you get into nursing school, it's going to be very difficult to, you know, fix that and actually get their help later on. So just make sure you keep that in mind as well. And that's pretty much all I got for you for right now. Alright, but thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to click my video and, you know, listen to the tips that I'm giving you. And if you have any more information as far as tips that you've heard or tips that you know of it while you're in nursing school, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will definitely be uploading a lot more nursing student videos and nursing videos once I am, you know, a nurse and have my RN and all of that. That would definitely be a lot of fun. But I just really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen, and like I said, just, you know, stay positive in this whole process as you're getting into nursing school. I know it's tough, I know it's a lot, but, you know, just, you can do it. Just remember, if I can do it, you can do it. If thousands of people have done it before you, why can't you do it? There's nothing different about you other than your mindset. So it goes back to tip number 1, remember that. But I'll see you guys next time.